this on? Hi, I'm Monte Moore, and we're back for round 3 for the 2015 Denver Comic-Con, and this year is going to be bigger and better than ever. There you go.
I'm watching Groovey.TV.
And you know it, I know it, you're watching Groovey.TV because you came here to see the grooviest thing on the tube.
All right. Hey, this is Groovey. I'm here with the legendary Monte Moore.
Legendary.
Legendary.
I think that's you now.
How are you, sir?
Oils in the background.
You're the Wizard of Oz.
I'm the slave to the art table.
How the heck are you, man?
I'm doing great. It's been a big year, so I'm cranking it.
Awesome. It's been an amazing year for us too. There's like the vibe was incredible. What happened? What'd you do?
It's strange, as I mentioned last year too, doing a lot more work in comics rather than games, a lot of traditional games like Magic and D&D and Harry Potter for a long time. But this last year probably added 4 to 5 new clients to the mix as far as primarily a cover artist for comics projects, and I brought some to show this year from IDW, Dynamite, possibly doing some new work for Zenoscope coming up, Cave Woman, Mile High Comics, just kind of a wide variety of projects there. I think I mentioned before that I did a movie poster for Roger Corman.
Oh yeah.
A couple of years back. So that movie came out, which was Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader. It's right up my alley. And then this year as well, actually, I was invited to do some of the promotion artwork for the Denver Comic-Con.
Okay.
So this year, the T-shirt design is going to be my artwork, and I don't think they've debuted it yet, but I'm probably allowed to say that it's going to have Flash and Arrow on the shirt. And then also, I just finished the kids area backdrop, which is going to have it's kind of a Flash forensic lab kind of feel, and the kids will be doing these kind of fun forensics kind of things, trying to figure out which villain sort of did it. And so there's going to be some great Flash villain characters on this over life-size backdrop that I did the art for.
I actually snuck a peek at this, and it's awesome.
I would love to be able to show it, but I think they want to sort of unveil and debut it at the show.
I was blatantly told I can't show anything, and if I do, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because you don't want to have like Gorilla Grodd or somebody come and smash you.
That would be bad. But that's so cool that you're doing that too. It's it's sort of like a new section of the con you're working with.
Exactly, and I had kind of always volunteered services before. Last year I was maybe going to end up coloring or painting the cover to the program book, which was Mark Brooks's artwork, and that actually ended up being done by somebody else. So this year when I called up and said, hey, let me know if you need anything, they said, hey, we're ready. We've got some ideas that they had already kind of approved and were through DC Comics, utilizing their characters, and I was just, like, hey, I'll put some other stuff aside to work on this because, this is awesome. So I was,
cool.
Yeah, super cool. So I'll have that artwork at the show to be able to sell, and hopefully people be wearing it around for years to come.
Sure, it will. It will be a collectible, I guarantee it. Yeah. So what? We got some show and tell here. What's going on here?
So like I said, it's been a busy year. So here are 3 of the covers from the new title from IDW, which is Judge Dredd Anderson Psi Division. And I have 3 of the 4 here. And these were drawn by Matt Haley. And then I did paintings of them. So I brought a couple of those, and those are all out and in distribution. And then 2 of the projects last year that were for Dynamite. This is Chaos #1, featuring Purgatory, who was one of my favorites. And then, of course, this one, which was maybe a little risque for last year's Denver Comic-Con, was the Vampirella #1 that has our signature blue bear there as part of Denver, was the Vampirella cover. She was busting out all over. So I've also done a couple of new Cave Woman covers this year. And actually, I have one of the original pieces of art that I brought. And so my paintings are in general about this size. This is airbrush, colored pencil, and hand-painted acrylics.
Right.
And so this cover was already solicited and I think will come out pretty shortly. And then this is a very cool piece that I just finished 2 weeks ago. And it's actually not for a cover. It's kind of a Batman versus Superman, that Superman shadow in the background kind of cornering the Dark Knight here. And the "We Are Not Alone" reference is from Man of Steel, where Zod says, "You are not alone." And this was actually drawn by a guy in Manila. His name's Dogg Souljah. And I saw the drawing that he had posted on Facebook, and I contacted him and said, "I love this. I think it's really cool. It's very classic." And I bought the drawing from him and said, "Would you mind if I made a painting of it, as long as you were credited as the penciler?" And so it's cool when you have a different style of two artists working together.
Right.
Yeah. And then this is just another portfolio piece that I did recently. And anybody who knows me knows I love motorcycles as well. And so I did a Spider-Man piece that actually doesn't have Spider-Man actually in it. So we have Gwen, and she's leading on a badass spider bike. And well, you don't really know if it's her bike or it's his bike. But anyway, kind of a fun Gwen Stacy piece.
That's really cool.
And then this last one is actually a project of my own. And this is just a character shot. And it's actually a comic that I'm developing for myself that's called Loko Hero, and it's about a U.S. Army female veteran who comes back, and she ends up living on the streets and kind of brings together some of the plights of our war veterans and homelessness and that sort of thing. And she takes a blow to the head, and she thinks she's a superhero.
Oh, wow.
And so she starts sort of doling out her own justice, and her outfit is actually cobbled together from the stuff she finds at the donation center. So it's, 1980s jazzercise stuff and rollerblade, pads and ski goggles on her head. And this is her earring there is her dog tag. And she always has like a funny pin or something she finds in the garbage. And so it's a really unique storyline, and I'm working and developing on that as my own creator-owned project.
Right on.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun.
When, is there any time frame for that one? Like a launch or anything?
No, not yet. I've worked with a couple other artists who are faster than I am with pencils and sequential art, and I'll probably either paint it or do the rendering. But I'm going to have a different penciler other than myself. I'm going to work with somebody to pencil it, and the first 5 pages are already done. So that's cool. And then I brought a couple other things.
My future ex-wife.
Yeah, well, you reminded me that you love Lady Death. So here's 2 more of the Lady Deaths from Coffin Comics. And this is an ongoing gig for me. So right now I can do a cover a month for them. Okay. And Lady Death had a monster Kickstarter this year that just went off the hook. And so he's, now that Brian has the rights back to Lady Death, he's relaunching it as it's Lady Death. I think it's called Chaos Rules, I think. And so about a month ago, I did a new #1 cover for the new Lady Death #1, and I think it's my best Lady Death piece. So can't show that one yet, but it's coming out. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
Pretty please.
It's under wraps for now. Another thing I brought some samples of. A lot of people know about the blank sketch covers, and so these start out as white covers, and they hire the artists, to draw on them. But this one. I was pretty happy with, and actually goes the other way. This is Guardians of the Galaxy from Italy, and so it forms a wraparound cover of all the characters, kind of 2 pieces together. And this is for a guy who owns a comic shop in Italy, and he's going to put these up in his shop. And I hadn't shipped them to him yet, and I was a huge fan of the movie, so I thought I'd bring them.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
And then 2 other things that I have going on. Speaking of Kickstarters, so I co-own Mind's Eye Games, and we're going to launch our 3rd game this year, and we're going to do a Kickstarter in a couple weeks for Grub Fist, which is kind of a fun game with all these different pieces, and you basically are playing a goblin, and you're trading all these pieces with the people you're playing with, and you don't know what's in your hand. You're bluffing and tricking and cheating, and it's quite fun. So we're going to launch that soon. And then another game that we have called Boneyard, and this is the bag for it. was kind of a tattoo biker kind of a theme for that game, and that's launching as well. And then this is one of the new sculptures that last year when I said I had a bunch of new pieces coming out. So I brought the kind of, he's a bit of a Grim Reaper, but he's got a little bit of a Ghost Rider vibe to him because he's got the flaming head.
No, that's really cool. Because last year you did bring some other sculptures and stuff.
I had the Thor's Chariot last year, and so I just got 2 pallets of sculptures delivered that have all the new pieces. So Denver Comic-Con 2015 is going to be the official debut of 10 or 15 new pieces. It'll be the first time that anybody in the public has a chance to buy them.
So cool.
Not on my website yet either, so yep.
It's going to be a good con for everybody.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it kind of seems to double or triple every year as far as, I don't know, sales and attendance and fun factor. So I think it's going to be pretty huge. And actually, I've been doing some consulting with the exhibitor side of things to bring sort of my viewpoint. And I used to run the only sort of con here in Denver for, almost 10 years. And so I have a lot of insight into that. And so seeing the map and the layout and how they're trying to accommodate and make it, I mean, honestly, as inexpensive as possible. We still have some of the most affordable artist alley in the country, and it's the largest in the world. I mean, I've been to Luca Comics and Games 6-7 times in Italy, and they might be the largest convention, which is awesome, but they don't do an artist alley per se. That's something that's kind of more unique for our cons over here. So to have an artist alley that's 300 artists, tables, is insane. That's 3 times the size of San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I've actually heard there's bigger cons. There's cons with perhaps more stuff.
Yeah, maybe
more
vendors.
But as far as pure comic book artists, pure comic artists, whatever creators, this has the most. Denver has the most.
It does, and it's a huge just sort of kudos to Denver or the artist community supporting the con and coming from all over. It's not like we're all local artists. We have a great artist community here in Denver that's thriving. But it is great when people are like, oh man, I'm going to Denver Comic-Con in a couple weeks, and it's become not only a top 10 show, but really pretty close to a top 5 kind of show in the country that ranks up there with Seattle and Chicago, San Diego, New York. And we're right there with them as far as size and attendance and vendors. And there's a lot of publishers that are coming to Denver now. You got Avatar, Zenoscope. We might not have the big boys setting up their booths and stuff here, but I guarantee you they're paying attention.
Oh, yeah. It'll be soon. It'll be real soon. Real soon.
Yeah.
So, do you know your booth number?
663.
Neighbor of the beast.
I am the neighbor of the beast. I asked where the beast was, and I don't think there's actually a beast booth, but I am behind Neil Adams, so it's going to be Monte Moore and Neil Adams back to back, right on the edge of the artist alley. So off to my left will be a sea of creativity and artists.
Right on, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate
Cheers.
having me back.
This is Groovey. I'm here with Monte Moore. Denver Comic-Con coming up Memorial Day. Check out all this wicked stuff.
Next year my beard might be longer, but I don't think it'll be this long. You could try.
I would fail.
Right on.